get that out of here. But anyways, I got up, ran this morning at 5:30. It's 8 a.m. Now it's 8 p.m. Had a small lunch, about 400 calories or so. So guess what? I'm hungry. Working on rehydrating, and we're gonna have some fun tonight. So first thing we got coming up is we're gonna pre-make some crab cakes. Then we'll throw them in the freezer while we work on our other mess or our slop that we're gonna eat. And what is that slop, you might ask? We're gonna make a nice little turkey wrap, probably turkey and cheddar, lettuce, maybe some other vegetables, probably ranch in there to keep it creamy, and some strawberries on the side for a nice healthy dinner-ish. We'll break for intermission at some point in time for a margarita, following the Casamigos margarita maybe. And by that time, crab cakes should be ready to bake or pan fry. But pan fry is for the week. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to deep fry them bad boys. And it's going to be good. And then maybe, depending on if I want to make breakfast tomorrow and the next day, we might prep some breakfast burritos. But we'll see how it goes, and we won't get ahead of ourselves. And hopefully the volume's working tonight. Yeah, we got a nice clean mixing bowl there. We'll set that where we can see it. I think everybody can see the bowl and the chopping station. There. Got our crab cakes here. It's got a recipe on the back. We're gonna loosely follow it because, quite frankly, I've followed that recipe line by line before, and it makes mediocre crab cakes. So we're going to deviate off script, and we're definitely not going to do it exactly how they say to, but guess what? Now, what's going on, Cheeseburger? How you doing tonight? Might as well turn on everyone's comments. Most of the time, it's in your best interest to read the recipe, find all ingredients except crab and breadcrumbs, and gently fold them into the mix. All right. Well, we're not going to listen to that. Excellent. Yeah, well, follow just any canned crab. You follow the recipe on the can, it'll turn out decent, but not great. Quite frankly, I think this recipe on the Phillips is mediocre, so we'll go off script a little bit. 1 pound crab meat, 1 pound egg. Okay, well, we can throw an egg in there. We can do that. And oh, look, we got a trash bin. The egg will help be the binder, so that's good. What else? What do we got next? 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. I don't think I have any of that. I'll check the cabinet, but I think I'm SOL on that. Yes. I am indeed out of Worcestershire sauce because one time I broke it and it was a glass bottle, and that pissed me off when it broke on the floor. But good thing we got a little bit of soy sauce. 2 teaspoons, yeah? It's salty, it's brown, it's gonna work. What's up, Cook with you, Barad? What's up, Cook with you? Welcome. What's next? 2 tablespoons, 1 teaspoon dry mustard. We're gonna skip that because I don't have dry mustard. 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Sure, we got a lemon wedge here. I'm gonna cut it. Make sure that I'm not gonna put any seeds or anything like that in there. So See, we got seed there. Let's get that out. And you can fish it out, but you know sometimes preventative matters. Is yeah. What's this here sauce? Yeah. Okay, you got me. This one was a squirter, so I think I got plenty. I think I got a teaspoon of lemon juice in there. Well, we like India. India's cool. That's a cuisine I would love to cook someday. You know, I've done a couple recipes out of the book that have turned out really well. But growing up, we didn't really have a big Indian population, so we didn't really eat much Indian food. But I love it. It's good. 1 tablespoon of mustard. We got that. Yeah. It doesn't specify, so we're just going to go with the spicy brown here. Yeah, well, not the one I bought, Caden. If I would have bought it in plastic, I probably would have been happier. It still has a seal on it. Not a big mustard guy. What's going on, Bubba Ganoush? Long time no see. What part of the world are you in these days, Bubba? Let's give about a tablespoon of lemon seed. I see that. Scoop that bullshit out of there, you know. It's about a tablespoon, yeah. One tablespoon of melted butter. Well, that's going to take some effort. You know, I've been waiting for years to use this little guy, alright? North Cal? Yep, I'm still in Hawaii, Viva. Actually, we're not going to use that cute little guy because it's not going to stay still. So we're going to melt some butter real quick. Don't have a microwave. Shit happens. I'll be honest, I always go heavy on my butter. And very rarely do I regret it. I'm just going to melt it on the back burner. You can't see it, but I promise you it's happening. And also, you want to go a little extra when you put it in the pan. I mean, obviously not double it. I mean, it wouldn't be terrible. But you're going to put mayo in it later, so that'll leave a lot of fat in there as well. But some of the butter will remain in the pan when you turn it in, you know. So we'll just let that butter melt back there. This next, parsley flakes, Phillips seasoning, half cup of breadcrumbs. All right. Hold on. What am I looking for here? I know exactly where I'm looking for, but I don't see it. I could be in trouble, folks. We got a situation on our hands. Oh, never mind. Found it. Old Bay. So it's 1 teaspoon. No. That's going to get a shit ton of Old Bay, all right? Crisco. I don't think I've used Crisco in my life. What's going on, Funkadelic? Yeah, I think we all realized that about when we were 12, natters. You know? But good amount of that Old Bay in there. Taste Maryland. You want to taste Maryland in there. And if you read the ingredients on Old Bay, you know. Celery salt, spices, red pepper, you know. We're going to give it a little bit of garlic too. A little bit of cayenne, sure. If you have fresh parsley, go ahead and use that. We'll throw in some parsley flakes because why not? Fresh would be 10 times better. But we're going to freeze most of these anyways, so it'll be fine. Yeah, well, why don't you try 69, Damon, and maybe that'll readjust your outlook on life. Alright, so what do we still need to put in there? Mayo? Yeah, we definitely need 2 tablespoons of mayo. Now we're going heavy on the butter, so we'll go a little bit lighter on the mayo, you know? Tablespoon. Yeah, that's probably about 2 tablespoons. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. I guess what we want these to be rich. We want it to be good. We don't want flavorful crab cakes. Nobody orders crab cakes when they're worried about their figure. Oh, thank you, Gray Man. I like I like the books about the Gray Man. The Gray Man books and the movie on Netflix is excellent. Little crab cakes for now. We got our butter melted. We don't want it to burn. Go ahead and throw that in there, alright? Go ahead and turn off your back burner. Calls for some breadcrumbs, so I'm at an impasse here. You can use panko on the Japanese breadcrumbs, but we ain't going to do that. We're going to use rich crackers instead. And this is kind of just messing around, trying to, explore making what makes a good crab cake. Usually I just go off the recipe in the cans, but the last time I tried this brand, it wasn't that great. Now you could mortar and press a little of this, but yeah, the Maryland blue crab, do they grow in Hawaii? No, they don't. So let's not be throwing stones. If it was fresh tuna or mahi-mahi or marlin or something, then you would have a point. And then I might even pull in like 20 pounds of, fresh fish that I got in my freezer that I caught. But Spam's pretty good. Anyways, just crush up your rich crackers. And yes, I washed my hands before this, and I'll wash them again multiple times. Apparently, that really bothers you, some of you. You definitely don't want too much filler in your crab cake, but you want it to all stay together. I think it needs some diced onion to be truly great, and we might even use green onion on it. I am going to make a cookbook someday, and it's going to be called the Panty Dropper Cookbook, and it's going to be designed to make portions for 2 people. And, it'll be like a cookbook designed for, date nights, It'll be good. Stand by for that. These have been in there a while. They look okay. They're still moist, so that's good. We'll keep the tops. We'll make a garnish out of this just to sprinkle it on top there. And we're not going to go crazy with the onion. If you wanted to do that, I would just finely dice some white onion or sweet onion or even red onion. Something that would give it a little bit of color. And speaking of color, I got a Fresno pepper, so what the heck, let's go ahead and use that. Um, cool, that's a tough one, Chris. I would advise, raisins, grapes, uh, yeah, coffee, White Monster energy drink, some Zen, maybe some Copenhagen. That would probably fix your issue. If you want my medical advice. So I got a Fresno red pepper. Let's get in there. Gotta have some sort of vegetable in there, yeah? Alright. Let's go ahead. Make sure your spoon's clean before you put it away. So go ahead, give that, sometimes you just gotta rub your wood off, Yeah, not too spicy. I mean, you can always add more spice later. We'll mix it up. We'll taste for flavor once it's all mixed. If you've noticed, I haven't added a whole lot of salt. One, there's some salt in with the crab. And then, yes, I did Ursula because it'll be fine. And then there's some salt in the soy sauce and the crackers and some of the other bullshit. But if it needs more salt, you can add it later. And I'm forgetting something. Parmesan cheese. Thought about using cheddar, but we're just gonna grate some parm in there. And this is gonna be a heck of a crab cake. Well, we like 2 a.m. foodies, What else would you be doing at 2 a.m. other than sleeping? But, if you were sleeping, you want to be here. So, might as well do something productive. And then we're going to mix all that together. And, eventually we're going to get our hands into this. There's going to be some tasting and remixing and all that good stuff, and it'll be fine. And before we'll cook these, we'll definitely chill them out. We'll put, well, good for you. I got to work tomorrow, so unfortunately I can't get drunk tonight. Let's make probably either 4 big crab cakes or 6 small crab cakes. This one, Aviation Gin, sponsored by The Aviator. Just kidding, but that would be cool. But gin, a little bit of orange juice, and Sprite. Well, thank you. And that was... about 12 hours ago that I shaved, so I must have done a really good job today. Give it a little taster, see if you need to adjust your seasoning or whatnot. That's good. A little bit of late kick to it. A little bit more lemon juice, a little bit more acidity needs to be in there. And then also a little bit more salt. But not a whole lot, but a little bit. That's got a good aftertaste. So just a couple of shakes of salt. Don't go crazy. And then just a little bit of lemon juice. Maybe another wedge. Especially since we didn't use any fresh herbs here. This will really brighten it up and it'll be good. Oh, yeah. Get the seeds out. You don't want seeds in there. That would not be pleasurable to bite down on one of those. If you add a bunch of lemon juice, it'll get harder to put together. It's a little bit mushy. We're going to add a couple more crackers to the mix just to bind it up a little better. What's up, Mr. Man? I am excellent, Sprinkles. How are you? All right. A little bit more binder in there. Definitely want your crab to be overwhelmingly more than your filler, but it'll be good. Well, shit, I'll take that, Tompkins. Usually I get Joey from Friends, you know, and then they say, well, it's not so much that you look like him, but you do, but it's your mannerism. And yeah, probably will, John. Do some stretches. Now, mix those crackers in, and like, find a consistency that you like. And for all of you shitting on me and my dirty oil that I fried the chicken in last night, guess what we're going to fry these crab cakes in? It's going to be awesome. Joey doesn't share food. Dude, mixed opinion, I think Drew Barrymore's hot. You know, I always had a thing for her, but I do think her best movie was Wedding Singer. And also Adam Sandler's most underrated movie. Grown Up's most overrated. Oh yeah. Adjustments hit the spot. Everything's already cooked in here except the egg, so you're probably going to be good to eat it raw. Well, I'll tell you what. Whoever said pasta filling, next time I do this, I'm going to roll up some of these in an egg roll or a wonton and just deep fry that. That'll be awesome. How you doing? Oh my. Crab cake, brother. Yeah, so we're going to lay this out on some parchment paper on a tray. We're going to put, you know, I don't really have fridge space, so I'm going to put in 2 in the freezer to super chill, and then we will put the rest in the fridge to figure out later. Maybe I'll reorganize my freezer. Because like whoever was bitching at me, you know, dissing on me because I was using canned crab, I got a freezer full of fresh fish. Oh, Mr. Man, it only got better last night. I did filter it out. I did run it through a sieve 2 times today, so it should be better. Yeah, well, I'm not an Italian guy. I just lived there for 2 years, so what do I know? All right. Now we're going to put a sheet of parchment paper down. And you know what? We might even grease it. I mean, you can put Pam or whatever, or some sort of spray grease, but I don't trust the bullshit that comes in the pan. You know what I'm saying? Olive oil, or I can trace olives back. You know, sure, that's gonna work. And you know what? If I bake them, sure. Cheaper ways to lubricate. Use any oil. Doesn't matter. I'm just not using the bullshit in the can. Alright. So with that being said, that's 2 parts. If you don't want food to stick to your hands, lube up. Oil up with olive oil. That should help with the stickage, alright? Yeah, well, you know what's in a Pam can? What makes it spray out? I mean, the people want to know. Okay, and we're just going to compress these. Obviously, there's a lot of moisture in them. That's okay. I guess that's not quite tennis ball size, but it certainly isn't golf ball size. The important part is to make your crab cake. If you're cooking them at the same time, you definitely want them to be about the same size. And the reason is that way they cook at the same rate. Whether you're frying them, baking them, deep frying them, even that horse shit, that lie they call the same in the air fryer. I think it's just an oven with a fan, personally. Well, shit. We might as well go snowboarding or skiing to Nirvana with that attitude, Senate Figaro. Yeah, that's all right. You know, lemon juice left its flavor. I mean, some of it's melted butter, some of it's mayo. Uh, I don't want it too liquidy. I mean, it's still going to be plenty moist inside. Oh, shit. Where are the memberships at? You want me to make a membership? You know what? Other than badges and emojis, what do y'all want in a membership? I'll entertain the thought. Well, as a Marylander, you have terrible football teams. Go Steelers. I didn't see that coming. Good. Nobody likes a hoodie, Mr. Beatles. Oh, whoops, sorry. But, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. Alright, Viva. I will figure it out. And before the 15th of the month, I will establish some membership. I mean, I don't know. What's custom emojis worth? How much should people pay for that for a month, Well, shit. That's how we know you're a Democrat, Shady. Yeah. We're going to throw 2 of these in the freezer because I want to cook them tonight. The others I'll put in the fridge and I'll bake tomorrow and they'll be fine. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Shady, but, oh yeah. Statistically, because I didn't fail out of math class, being that you're a Marylander, statistically, I got, better than the 60% chance of being right there. Well, thank you, King Doopy. So, what you're saying, Shady, is based off of 2 comments I pegged you, and not like a pegging way, just accurately depicted you. Yeah, well, I bet you didn't get a prom date either, Shady, but here we are. Alright. No, Shady never got invited to a Diddy party. Come on. I'll give her that street cred. We're going to put these 2 in the freezer. Let them chill. Oh, you wish I would peg you. Like, come on. But I would have to have a shovel to find the access point. It'd be kind of like when they're talking about the Star Wars, finding the thermal exhaust port and how it's too small and it's an impossible shot. I don't know how to start, What's up, Pro Charge? Oh, what I missed. Looks like lemon water. Yeah, well, shit. At least I went to prom. You know. What's up, Soulful? And these crab cakes, once they're cooked up, we'll sprinkle a little bit of that green onion on top. And if you had fresh parsley, a little bit of that. A little bit of butter brush over the top before you bake them. They'll brown up real nice. Oh, man. So you're from Maryland, so it's at 2 a.m. and you're scrolling through random people's, YouTube streams just to tell him his crab cake sucks, and then you're calling me the loser? Get real. I know you don't got a boat or access to the water to catch your own crabs. Yeah, Maryland's cool. I got family there. Edgewater, Baltimore area. Spent some time in Annapolis. Great town. I would say 90% of the people are great people there. Well, I will enjoy my shitty crab cakes. In about, 30 minutes or so. What's going on, Larson? How you doing? So we're going to take a little bit of a breather, clean up the workspace, reset. First course of dinner, honestly, it's just going to be a turkey wrap. I don't know, turkey cheddar, maybe some lettuce, either mayo or ranch or something like that. Maybe some onion in there. Maybe even a strip or two of bacon. It'll be pretty low key. And then with some strawberries on the side, it'll be kind of light. Then we'll take a break. We'll make the casamigos margarita recipe. And that should buy enough time for those crab cakes to chill out, to solidify. I found if you don't chill them first, when you go and cook them, they just fall apart and they turn it into a mess. That, especially being that I'm going to deep fry them, I want them to be cold. I want them to be able to go into the oil and form a crust or whatnot. So, we'll see how it works out. I don't know. Can I tell my dad what you did to me, Uncle Larson? But yeah. So we're done with panko tonight. Mayo can go back in the fridge for now. Obviously, you don't put the sandwich knife away until you're done. Green onion, we're done with the stalks. We're done with the Parmesan for now. That can go away. Ritz crackers, we're done with those. I think Old Bay, we're probably done with those as well. And honestly, probably the best thing I've ever had to pair with a crab cake is Sam Adams Boston Lager. That is just an excellent pairing. I don't know why, but it hits. Or Sam Adams Oktoberfest, just because that is an excellent beer. Yeah, Uncle Larson, not cool. I also like to cook, Uncle Larson. Butter, we might need that. We'll keep that out. Mustard, we're done with. Old Bay, we're done with. Wasn't Maryland really shitting on me for my crab cakes when I was using Old Bay? Like, come on. Poser. Now, if you replant these in the ground just like this, they'll regrow and then you can reharvest it. So, those roots are a little bit dry. They dried out in the fridge, so they're probably SOL. Okay, lemon juice. Okay. Can opener, we're done with that for now. Cheese grater, you never know when you need a cheese grater. Love the box grater. Love a good box in general, to be honest. we'll just wipe that off. And when I'm done with everything, I just sweep everything off the counter into a dustbin, clean up with bleach. Bleach will keep everything good to go. I'm debating whether I'm thinking I'm going to make a wrap. I got tortillas, I got to use them. So I'm thinking turkey and cheddar or ham and cheddar. We'll go ham and cheddar. I'm more of a ham fan, actually. I got some old cheddar, needs to be used up. I got some better cheddar if I need it, but we're just going to grate it up, use up the cheap stuff, alright? Smithfield honey ham, so that's something to keep in mind that it already has some sweetness to it. I'm a fan of that. Make it creamy. We need something to make it creamy. I'm going to go with ranch here. Be alright. Looks like I got half of onion right here on the counter, so we'll cut off the part that's been exposed to the air, dice it up real fine, and I'll give it a little bit of a bite to it. Will be good. And let's see what else I got here. I got avocado. I'm debating using that. I think avocado could be good on that, but ham, cheddar, avocado, ranch, and onion wrapped up in a tortilla and then fried together so everything melts together into a mush. That's where I'm going to take out the avocado because I don't like avocado when it gets heated up. Avocado is good cold, and we might need that later. But we need some more colors in there, so we're gonna avocados have their place, don't get me wrong, good guac, but I'm not paying $3 at Chipotle or everywhere. Avocado guacamole, I get that avocados are expensive, but I ain't paying for that add-up. That's too expensive. Here in Hawaii, avocados, you're talking at least $2 an avocado unless they're on sale. That's a lot. But for color, we are going to use just some iceberg lettuce. Also got some leftover barbecued baked beans from last night that we could sneak in there to give it a little bit of extra, what's the word I want to use? Girth, heft, carbs, but we're gonna leave that out. I don't think we need it. We'll fluff it up using the lettuce. This is kind of a space filler anyways. Yeah. And then we got some flour tortillas here. So we'll take one of those guys out. We'll have to heat that up so it becomes pliable here in a little bit, but we're going to take a quick intermission and then we will get started. I might have to time it so there's a little mid-roll ad so I can have a little bathroom break. That would be cool. For now, Viva. For now. All right, what's up, Cassidy? How you doing today? So with that being said, we can get to cooking here. So we'll have our plate, and then we'll have our ingredient prep plate, and then we'll have our plate. All right. So you're definitely gonna want some diced lettuce. Let's go ahead. There's a better way to do it, I know, but I don't care. This is exactly how much lettuce I want. I'll dice that up because I hate biting into lettuce and then it, yeah, Viva, that's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Coming from somebody that has little dogs that bark a lot, you might be SOL. But yeah, I always dice up my lettuce because I hate biting into a burrito, like, and then when you pull the burrito away, it just goes everywhere, you know? If you dice it up, you'll get equal amounts of lettuce in every bite, and it won't ruin the burrito or sandwich. Alright, got an onion here. All this has been exposed. Ah, shit, that's going to smoke up here in a little bit, but that's okay. One of the dogs wanted us outside, but they abused their barking privileges earlier, so it's not going to be allowed for a little bit. I tried to take them for a walk, but they're still pissed that it's raining out, so what can I do about it, you know? Keiko! Come here, buddy. So you don't want to put too much raw onion in. I'll give too much bite, but just a little bit of finely diced onion, and you could even cook them and caramelize them. You probably should, but I'm not going to, all right? And truth be told, red onion or sweet onion would work way, way better for that. Well, I think this is a small sweet onion, but if you chop them small enough, it'll be okay, you know? I mean, if your neighbor's a decent person, ooh, isn't dill a herb? Maybe like a teaspoon of onions or so, you know. Maybe dice them up even a little bit finer. There we go. We're not going to use all of them, but a little bit. Was that a Google Translate situation, Viva? Off. Alright. We're going to take 3 pieces of ham. Let's go ahead and dice it up. For the same reason I diced the lettuce. What's going on, Kevin? Who would have thought? The same reason. I want ham in every bite, not in ham in one bite that tears the sandwich and or burrito apart. Alright, we got that pan. Ooh, butter in there still. Let's go ahead and get that up to temperature. Yeah, I think that's everything we need. We do need to grate our cheese still. Pro tip, when you're grating cheese and you don't want it to get everywhere, put like a paper plate down or something, and take the box grater over the top of it. And then just up and down, up and down, up and down. As much cheese as you want to use. Once you get past the hard stuff, it goes pretty soon. How long for the crab cakes? I don't know, 20 minutes or so. I want to give them at least, maybe 45 minutes to firm up a little bit in the freezer. Because I want to deep fry them, I really do. And, if they go in too soft, they'll just like fall apart and turn into mush. No, it's only 9 p.m. here. It's called Hawaii Standard Time. What is probably one of the worst time zones to be trying to stream from. An air fryer? Well, listen, Viva. I have an oven, and I have a toaster oven that supposedly has an air fry setting, but truth be told, it's still a toaster oven. Yeah, I don't know. When I stop frying and start air frying, I'm not sure life's still worth living at that point, I mean, you did see my dirty fry oil earlier today, yeah? Yeah, there's a lot of people that really like the air fryer that, really like baking or whatever, but I mean, that's fancy marketing on an oven with a fan or a convection oven or whatever it actually is, but let's not pretend air frying comes anywhere close to holding a candle to actually frying. We're just warming up our tortilla here, just to make it pliable for when we need to work with it. And we got way more cheese than we needed, but that's all right. I like eating dairy. We'll come back to that tortilla. Have some of that leftover melted butter. We're gonna wipe it out. Not because I don't like butter, but I don't want it to burn when I'm frying the ham. All right. What's up, Renata? How you doing? You don't happen to have any connections to Maryland and gonna shit on my crab cakes, are you, Renata? Wellen. Just asking for a friend. It's a non-stick pan, so I'm not going to worry that they went in before the pan was hot. Normally I like stainless steel, but this was a butter melting pan, and I didn't have to go over to my shelf to get my pans. So here we are. You can hear that crackle. We're just trying to get some color on these. Once they start going a little bit, we're going to throw in the onion with them as well. And I'll take a little bit of the bite off of it to get it to where we want it to go. I don't know what's better, the smell of bacon frying or ham frying. Oh, yeah. Dude, I will tell you what, it may not win any aesthetics competition, but those utility garage shelves are excellent for the kitchen. You can, one, they can carry a lot of weight. Two, they're stable. Three, you can put a lot of shit on them. Four, you can put stuff under them. 5, you can adjust the height of the shelves to your preference. 6, you can hang stuff all over them. 7, easy to clean. Good for you, Viva. That's what we live for here. Yeah, I agree, Gray Man. Stainless steel is a lot better. There's a couple things I'll use them for like melting butter or stuff like that, just because they're super easy to clean. But you can do what you want. I don't like talking about my day job here, though. I'm not gonna. Oh, I agree, Gray Man. Although I don't think it's going to kill me, and I melted the butter in the pan and it was right here. So, yeah, I mean, there's some people out here that know it, but I like to keep a little bit of separation, being that this is my escape from work. But I can be creative. Ho, ho, ho. Make fun of the French. You know, all the good stuff. This ham ain't gonna put off a ton of fat. We'll put enough in. You don't need to add any oil. Oh shit, Evad. You know, I'm on top of that. No DoorDash where I'm at currently, and DoorDash delivery, that's too expensive. I ain't trying to live in the poorhouse, and you know, if I want to retire early, DoorDash is not in the cards. Yeah, not a school chef, not a teacher, you know. It's an office job. We'll leave it at that. But yeah, also, it's really hard to get a good sear, good color on anything using non-stick. Stainless steel works so much better, but there's some things like toasting burritos up. I'll use non-stick for melting butter, maybe fried eggs, or you know, scrambled eggs. Yeah, I mean, you pay double for cold, shitty food. You know, I can go and get it, and it's pretty good. Oh yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, especially if you're in a premium market, delivering to premium client. Like, and you hustle and you're willing to work at the right time. But then again, that brings me into another conspiracy. Let's talk about the bums or the professional beggars. And I'm not talking about those people that ride government subsidies forever. I'm talking about legit beggars that pull in $100K a year, you know, just in cash, no taxes, and then they milk the government's teat for subsidies. Welcome back, Bacon. Oh yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. Man. Now I'm just waiting to research where your mom lives so I can go bang her, Bacon Burger. Hola, Kelkina. How are you doing tonight? And Bacon, judging by how many people you had to call dad growing up, I think I got a pretty good shock. Good for you, Kelkina. Good for you, honey. I'll just do a little bit of a top off here. Choop. What did Trump do? I don't know. I think he captured Maduro, yeah? Wow, the pan's starting to jump, so we're going to call it done, yeah? Alright, so let's go ahead and set that aside for a minute. We'll keep that burner hot, but let's go ahead and assemble our tortilla, alright? So, we got a tortilla, you got to think about what do we want as a base layer? What do we want touching the heat? We want that cheese. Maybe not all of it, maybe not that much, but guess what? Alright, what goes on top of the cheese? Your next hot item, so it can start melting that cheese, yeah? So we'll put that ham in there, alright? This is a tough one. Let's go ahead and put the ranch in. I don't think it really matters. But sometimes when you're got a little amount of ranch, quite frankly, I think that I want this a little bit sweeter, so I'm going to add just a little hit of oh shit, that's too much, but we can solve that, you know, just so that with a, yeah, just like that. That's solved. And we'll change the plate, put a little bit of barbecue on there, not a ton. Oh yeah, that's going to be moist. Now that we got a barbecue in there, you got enough creamy stuff in there. We can counteract like spice. We can get a little bit of cayenne on there. You know shit, bacon. I am an American and proud of it. Alright, put this back in. Let's go ahead and roll it over the top. And when I'm rolling a burrito, I try to add a little bit of cheese at the outside edge. That way, when it melts up, it will seal off. Bacon burner, your mother's too ugly to bang. Sorry. See you tomorrow night. Or in 5 minutes. We'll see if you hang out. Fold. Fold, fold, roll, 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 fold, roll. And when that cheese melts, it kind of acts like glue and it holds everything together really nicely. Hopefully my tortilla doesn't break. I see it breaking a little bit right there, but I think we'll be okay. We will give it a little bit of butter here to fry it in butter, but not a whole ton. Being that it's non-stick, you could probably get away from it without it, but it'll be alright. And you do want to be careful that the butter doesn't burn, but you want some sort of cooking fat in your pan. And we'll just give that about 1.5 minutes or so. Good for you, Kilkina. Good for you. We all need those, you know, we all should be able to have those type of nights once in a while, yeah? Yeah, so I got that going on. Meanwhile, I got work tomorrow, so I'm going to have one of these, the non-alcoholic Coors Light. I actually like the taste, and it slows things down and keeps me waking up with a clear head in the morning. Oh, I support that too, Viva. Yeah. Well, Mr. Fox, you know, only virgins don't fuck, so here we are. to roll that here. Winners! Penny, take the tax. Kick off. Come. Yeah, we all know you haven't been laying in a while, Mr. Fox. And being molested by your gym teacher doesn't count. That fries off. Let's go ahead and clean off the workspace. Ham can go back in the fridge. Lettuce can go back in the fridge as well. We'll roll that around a couple more times to make sure. Yeah, what does the fox say? Now let's go to the fridge. You want to see inside the fridge, do you? I don't know why this is popular, but right now it's not too bad. Fold that over. Got some leftover barbecued beans from last night. Got the crab cakes chilling in there. Some broccoli, lettuce in the bottom drawer. Roast beef, bacon, ham, turkey, tortillas. Looks like half a cucumber of bread. A lychee soda that some friend left. You know. What's going on, Glenn? How you doing? Oh yeah, we'll see if we make breakfast burritos tonight. We're not done for a long shot. This is just, I want to call it a dinner burrito, maybe a wrap. Oh yeah, well, I mean, there's a shit ton of hotels here. Yeah, we got Dijon, we got spicy brown, and we got yellow. What's your point, Fox? At least I can afford to have multiple types of mustard. Although I don't got any dry mustard at the moment, so I got goals, something to strive for, yeah. What's going on, Harris? Yeah. Let's go ahead and roll that on the side there. Just leave that spoon there to hold in place. Oh shit, it's not working. Gotta adjust the angles. What's going on, Kelly? We're making a turkey ham and cheddar wrap here. Ham, cheddar wrap, lettuce, onion. That's dinner. We're gonna serve it with strawberries. Really, I'm just trying to burn time until I can deep fry my crab cakes. So we'll eat this, make a margarita, and then we are going to deep fry the crab cakes. Should be excellent. Well, Gain Chillis, let's talk. What's the conspiracy, you know? You ask, I'll give you my opinion. I mean, the conspiracy is, I don't know. I don't know exactly what's in a chimichanga. I mean, similar concept. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff wrapped in a tortilla. I just happen to, fry it up. That way the cheese melts all the way through. And that melted cheese, it blends with the ranch, the lettuce, the ham. Ooh, call me for a good time, Let me know when you're in the Pacific. Oh shit, there's fish, and then there's birds, and then there's like dogs and shit. So there's land animals, there's water animals, and sky animals. Of course, there are UFOs like Uncle Neptune or whatever, and of course there are some bird UFOs, and of course there's some land UFOs. Have you ever heard of skinwalkers? you know? Yeah. Let's go ahead, set that to the side. I think everything's melted through. If you're worried about it, just put a lid on it. The residual heat, I know that's not really sealed up very well. But we'll come back, cut that later. In the meantime, let's go ahead and slice some strawberries. Let that cool down so I can eat, so I can make a margarita, so I can deep fry some crab cakes, and then meal prep some breakfast burritos, you know? Strawberries are like a superfood. They'll make you feel good. Obviously, this one's a bullshit one. We'll get rid of that. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that because I have an immune system. I think this is what, you know, Mr. Bacon's mother looks like, you know? I don't know. It might be off-brand GE. Oh, thank you, dude. We're doing chill, but you know, I had a gin and Sprite or gin and soda or whatever, and we'll make a margarita here in a little bit. But no need to get tanked on a Monday night. Yeah. Excess strawberries can go back in the fridge. What's cooking or what's cooked, you know? We got crab cakes in the freezer, or fridge, just chilling out until they're ready to be kind of like sacrificed, like the Pop-Tart at the Pop-Tart bowl, you know? But yeah, crab cakes, ham and cheddar wrap. Yeah, so they don't trip with the fins on, man. Have you ever tried walking forward in flippers? It's tough. Yeah. Let's go ahead and give our burrito the halfsies a little side dish. Side dish. Yeah. Well, Viva and let live, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Bradley. Pierogi, you know, I don't know, call me dumb, but pierogi sounds like Polish ravioli, yeah? I mean, what's the difference between pierogi and ravioli? The conspiracy is one of them stole that. Whether that was the Italians or the Polish, or Pittsburgh for that matter, I don't know. No, I'm a big Rachel Ray fan, you know, she knows how to cook. But she doesn't overcomplicate it. Rachel Ray, she's one of those people that can cook simply, you know, and I respect that. Okay, not the most sexy looking burrito of all time, but I'll tell you what, that ham, that cheddar, that ranch in there, all mixed together with a little bit that stole it or originated at Viva. And a little bit of barbecue in there to give it that sweetness. That's going to hit the spot. Let's go ahead and give it a taster bite. Hopefully I don't myself here. I did warrant. What's wrong with ham? You use what's available. I mean, food's expensive. I mean, don't waste food just to try to make the perfect meal. If you're trying to make a 10 out of 10 meal, you've already lost, all right? You know, just use what you got, maximize it. Don't waste food. Try to save money at the grocery store. Yeah, well, I mean, what originated first? Pittsburgh, pierogies in Pittsburgh, pierogies in Poland, or ravioli in I think it's ravioli in Italy. Come on. Can we all agree that turkeys is that should be a sin on Christmas? That should be you gotta go to extra confessionals if you try to cook a turkey for Christmas dinner. Either go roast beef, ham, feast of seven fishes. I don't care, but if I gotta eat two turkeys in 1 year, I'm pissed. Turkey has their day. I don't think they should because turkeys suck. You know, some of the dark meat is kind of edible, but it sucks ass. We should eat ducks for Thanksgiving or something. But I'll give Thanksgiving, turkey, Thanksgiving, whatever you want to call it. But turkey does not belong on Christmas. Lord of the Rings character? I don't know. I'll nerd out on Harry Potter, but Lord of the Rings ain't my thing. Well, yeah, that's fair, but you know, when you're talking about dry foods on Thanksgiving, turkey's so dry you gotta eat it with moist foods. Gravy, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce. I don't know. I think there's that old pervert Ben Franklin liked turkeys and it stuck. Because we want to honor him. We want to honor the great old pervert Ben Franklin that broke us out of our Puritan beginnings. Mm. Mm. What, are you a Puritan, the disappointed optimist? Prime rib is good on Christmas, I agree. You can also do some sort of baked pasta, lasagna, whatever. We haven't even started the burritos. This is a wrap. We may or may not meal prep some breakfast burritos tonight. That's TBD. Yeah, I'm not going to debate you on that one, Charles. I think that is a superior upgrade. I'd even settle for, baby back ribs, pork ribs, whatever. You give me either smoked ribs or smoked barbecued ribs for Thanksgiving. I think I would take that all day, every day. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Kilkeen, I ain't swimming to the border. Yeah, I think prime rib. You start early, you time it appropriately for whatever time you want dinner, however long you want it in the oven, and do it that way. You could do steak. Now, are we talking Christmas Day dinner or are we talking Christmas Eve dinner? Two different things. You know? And also, how many people? I mean, mm, yeah. Yeah, prime rib. Prime rib is probably the most acceptable Christmas meat. Roast it, just don't dry it out. Oh, well, you probably should be mushroom, Shay. What's keeping you up? Well, what the people really want to know were how were the burritos in Mexico City? That's what we really want to know. Gated community, Warren. Gated community. Yeah, ravioli and pierogi. What's the difference? Oh shit, I agree. You know, Mexicans do Mexico makes best tacos. I think we'll concede the point. Did you eat anything else good while you were down there? Well, the people want to know. More or less. Deli meat, and what I had in the fridge. Here we are. Well, I mean, isn't southern Texas? I mean, where's the line between southern Texas and northern Mexico? Okay. No, yeah, I mean, Mexico City. I mean, isn't it like the second biggest city in the world? Like, I would assume they got some other good shit other than Mexican food. I mean, that'd be like saying Chicago or Pittsburgh. Chicago has nothing good except for pierogies. Well, as is American Chinese food from Chinese food. And South Italy from Northern Italy. Sicilian cuisine and versus, fucking Milan, completely different. But, hey. Yeah. Probably the McDonald's in Mexico City had decent burgers. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, nobody's eating your meat, Baphomet. Yeah, I might use an actual real plate. You know. Yeah, been there, done that. I've been to a couple places. But Shay, you got to hit a pinata in Mexico City. That's pretty cool, Shay. Now, let's clean up a little bit. We're gonna make a margarita, and then we're gonna say fuck it, deep fry them crab cakes. All right? Yep. All right. We're cross mingling. I would do dirty bad things for a good taco right now. Hey, get out of here. Get out of here. Work your knife down. We're gonna need that for the margarita. Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. So to say, we're gonna get drunk. We ain't gonna get drunk tonight. It's a Monday night. I need to make it to Tuesday night. Yeah. Hey, I'm sure this happens to some other people too, but sometimes you gotta stall for some time as it hardens up. You know what I'm saying? But these are kind of the crab cakes that we're gonna work on cooking here. Yeah, I agree. I mean, honestly, I can't tell the difference between a well margarita and a high end margarita crystal cans. Yeah. Working with Casamigos here today. Need some 151, that'll put hair on your chest. Well, I'll be back. I gotta find the recipe. Had to dig into the recyclables, but we found it. Casamigos here. Tito's it is. It ain't tequila. Host did return. Oh, that's a very personal question, Caden. Yoga is good. Yaga, yeah, stay tuned, yeah. Ham wrap. Now we gotta wait, yeah. No. Crab cakes you don't need to bake for. If you're baking them, not very long, even shorter if you're doing broiler. Get in the garage. Maybe if you're lucky, we'll make a return to couch cooking here. But, so, we need ice in the shaker, obviously. We need ice in our glass. Duh. Ounce and a half, Casamigos tequila. Okay, we got that. 0.75 ounces fresh lime juice. We got a lime around here. Lime juice, we're good. Fresh orange juice. Half ounce, we'll go like a quarter of the orange here for that. Guava nectar, we're good. Optional rim job, equal parts salt, sugar, orange zest. We're not going to do the rim job. No, thank you. Well, we'll just quietly close that. Yeah. So, step one, let's get ice in there. We got shaker ice, we got fancy ice, alright? We're just going to find a big glass and put it in. Yeah. And you can garnish it with a lime wedge, orange wedge. Dealer's choice. Big choices here. Yeah, that's a tough one, Crystal. That's a tough one. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have an ice maker, but guess what? My refrigerator doesn't leak all over my floors either. That's pretty cool. But I do got an ice pick, and I do have a tray of ice. So, try to look away. Don't make sure nothing goes in your eyes. Maybe wear safety glasses. I don't know. Oh. I mean, didn't the Donald, just reduce the class of drug that marijuana is? Yeah. Ooh, I need a shaker, don't I? Not really my cup of tea, and I don't have a dog in the fight, but let's get some ice in there. It can be the dirty ice. I'll be fine. Go ahead, this can go back in the freezer. Alright. So let's go ahead. Alright, a little bit of pressure. We're going to use the whole line because why not? You panic? Oh, yeah, well, you probably got a little bit of time, a buffer zone, depending on, you know, the time between ingestion and when you got pulled over. Let's just cut a wheel off, just in case we want to garnish it with that, yeah? Yeah, that'll work. Fresh citrus really does make a difference when you're making cocktails. Don't get the bullshit in the bottle. Get an actual lime, you know? Yeah, well, Crystal Kens, I don't think you should be driving if that's true, but... or you live in Wisconsin where it's cool there. I mean, do your own thing, people. Just don't endanger others, you know? Live and let live. You start doing that shit, that's when the government comes in and takes away our rights. We'll call that 0.75 ounces of fresh lime juice. You got 5 DOIs when you were 17? That's an impressive year. Alright. Now this recipe doesn't call for triple sec, and that's where the orange is coming in to replace that orange liqueur, yeah? Check for seeds, check for any bullshit, but it doesn't matter because you're going to strain it out here. Oh nice, Papaya Australia. Squeeze it out. Quarter ounce of agave syrup. That's about a quarter ounce, yep. Got a shot of tequila, yep. This is what we're going to wrap the night up, yep. Where tiki Cool Beans 2025? Nobody asked. And who's calling you Big Poppy? No one. Well, that'll be fun, Kilkino. Yeah. There's a shot of tequila. Temporary liquor cabinet secured. And that goes here. Put the lid on that. Sometimes I struggle to get it out, so we're going to go ahead. Make sure our ice is ready to be received. Just one of these big square chunks would be good. In it goes. Yeah, we might overfill that glass actually. Yeah, so put that back into the freezer. We're trying this thing clean as we go, alright? Yeah. Yeah, well, y'all should connect. No, definitely not a bartender. I already told you that's an office job. Let's give it a good shake until the shaker is completely chilled. Oh yeah, that's chill. Pour it over the top. And here's where you're missing the, the job you do on the rim, you know? Pros and cons. And just sit that in there. Or just put it in there like that, Who are we to judge? That's gonna be good. Oh, and we're mingling. Yeah, it's margarita. Yeah. So we're gonna rush the crab cakes thing. I think it needs to. I think they need to freeze a little bit. I think it actually needs to come together a little bit tighter before we try this. Could stall and try to make breakfast burritos and all that, and meal prep, but we're not going to. We're gonna fire up the fryer. Yeah, more or less, Nice, Crystal. Yeah, mid-30s. Ooh, that hurt coming out of the claw. But let's get that burner fired up, get it up to around 400 degrees or whatever. I don't know, I don't measure with the thermometer. I put a little bit of flour in there, and if it sizzles up right away, we're ready to fry, Diddy's a sexual deviant, and he was doing things, and probably most of the people were willing participants. I'm not going to weigh into the underage minors that, but yeah, I think he did. I think it was probably about fair what he got convicted for, I don't know. That's a chick saying that she got 5 DUIs when she's 17. She might be the bad influence on us. Yeah, I don't know about telemark. Kiko, enough. Here. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. The government has no place in telling us what we should and should not put in our bodies. No, you're not. Well, that's fine, Crystal. We don't judge you. Nowadays you need an ID for everything. And pretty soon they're going to track us all electronically. The conspiracy is, go back and since you're 20, I'm assuming they still make you read 1984 in school. Go back and read 1984 and all the things that Orwell was warning us about. All those things have come true. Or Fahrenheit 411 or, even Animal Farm for that matter. Those were warnings and we didn't listen. It's not too late, but we better get our stuff together quickly. Let's just all remember Boxer getting taken to the glue factory. I will work harder. Napoleon is always right. To Boxer. Don't be fooled, that's just water bubbling up here. Yeah, nobody wants snakes here. Snakes aren't cool. Oh, shit. Why do they need to put a computer chip in your forehead when they got a bunch of computer chips in your pocket, in your purse, and all that good stuff? What's the difference, Are you really that much further away from your phone at any given time than a chip in your forehead, Crystal? Let's talk conspiracies. They've been at it for a long time here, There's a reason our dollars aren't backed by gold anymore. There's a reason they're trying to even take our paper money for us. They just want everything into ones and zeros and digital, and Then once they got all the money supply, you know, we're under their complete control. Oh, don't get me up on the Supra and let me know how banning all the guns worked over, you know, that on Bondi Beach the other day there, you know? Yeah. How long did it take the police to respond? That happens in Florida. Right, wrong, or indifferent, somebody's responding within a minute there. I mean, vote to give up, you know, you can give up your guns. You can vote to give your guns up, but you ain't voting to get them back. You can vote your way into communism, but you gotta shoot your way out. Pretty hard to do once you give your guns up, yeah? I mean, look at how quickly Venezuela went from, you know, the most prosperous, successful, by any standard that you measure in South America, to a shithole. Yeah, not a shithole, but a failed state, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Florida man stories. Big fan. Yeah, we got some time still before our oil is ready for this experiment. And, you know, and if it turns out shittily, we'll try to bake it, you know. I agree, Kilkina, you know. You know, you get what you vote for, and elections have consequences, to quote Obama. He was exactly right on that point. I agree, Turbo Camaro. Although I think all Camaros should have a big enough V8 that they don't need a turbo. Right now I'm going to try to deep fry a crab cake that's kind of chilled. I think it's going to turn into a mess, but we'll see. I don't know, I've only done spring break around Tampa. Yep. Meanwhile, I'm driving a Honda Civic Si with a little 1.8 liter, I think, with a little turbo in that. We'll see how long it lasts. Good night, Viva. Have a good rest. Yeah, man, they're fun little cars, yeah. Not that I know what a Prelude is, but my Civic's fun. I mean, straight stock, I haven't molested it or anything, but it's got a little 6-speed, it's fun to drive, still get 30 plus a gallon. We're almost there on the oil temp. You know, another minute or two and it'll be ready to go. Hondas are good, you know, and if you keep it, take care of it, it'll last forever. Alright. Moment we've been waiting for. Yeah. Yeah, we got all the excess water, any bullshit out of there. Oh yeah. I think she's ready. Well, if you really work at it, maybe it'll get down to 6. Ram 1500s are cool. We got nothing against Ram 1500s. Crab cake going in. Got hot, dirty oil. Oh, yeah. I was hoping that she would float. So we're just gonna... I don't want her to stick to the bottom here, so... We'll roll her around in a minute, in a couple minutes or so. Welcome back, Bacon. You're still a loser. What's up, Champ Touch? Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Yeah, borderline spamming, you know. You know, spamming is the one thing that gets people put in timeout, you know. It was only a 5-minute timeout. It wasn't a ban. Does that mean you don't eat bacon, Burner? Just not cooked crispy and perfect. Yeah, well, you gotta... Yeah. It's done. Broil it. I'm not gonna broil it, but we are gonna rotate it. And then we're gonna pull out on time in about a minute. It might be done, and I might have fucked it up, but good thing I got it back up in the freezer, yeah? It's kind of a guessing game when you don't know if it's frozen or unfrozen, you know? You know what? I don't think it's done yet. We'll pull out 145, 30. Yeah, Maryland blue crabs are excellent. Yeah, I don't know, Crystal. I don't know. What's going on, David? That is a crab cake, Kimberly. Oh, well, Gordon. Yeah, Maryland's cool. Man, unless you're that one person from Maryland earlier that was talking shit. Well, have you know, I used excessive amounts of Old Bay in this crab cake. Yeah. We're going to let the oil drain off of that here. We're going to go ahead and kill the heat here. I wish I had a rack ready to go to put this on. I'm going to set it down here. I'll put the rack on there. And we'll come back to you in 30 seconds here. Let's go ahead, be cautious. This burner's still hot. I want to limit the cooking oil smell to the kitchen. I'll put a cover on it. It'll be fine. Yeah, well, you probably should make meatballs then. Yeah, well, these things happen, has been. Yeah, well. So if you're Canadian, bacon burner, help us out here. When you're bacon burner, are you talking about burning ham? Yeah, these things happen. I leave my windows open though. I've heard of a lot of people putting ketchup on scrambled eggs. I must have missed something. I've never heard of anybody putting ketchup on sausage though. Safe to say you got some fetishes, bacon, and that's okay. We're here for it. You should have some tartar sauce or some sort of mayo-based sauce to eat this in, but we'll give it another minute or so to cool down, you know, or to drip dry. We'll see how it turns out here. I don't know. Are they anything like Irish eggs, David? I don't know. Educate us. What are Scottish eggs? Have you ever made tea eggs? What's tea eggs? Is that just like an egg soft boiled in tea or something? You're not selling it to me, Crystal. Alright, hot sauce on the crab cake. Interesting take, but I'm not opposed. Oh shit, that sounds good. I'm gonna have to look up Scottish eggs and learn that, you know. I'm down for it. Yeah. Let's go ahead. Some landing zone for the crab meat cake there. Lid on there. Got some green onions. We gotta make a quick garnish for this mess, yeah? Just something a little bit green. Yeah. That's probably worth a food porn picture. Not the best presentation, but I'm okay with it, alright? Because what we got here is a deep fried crab cake. Alcohol talk? What about the alcohol talk? Hold on, I gotta take a picture. Yeah, we'll see if it's delicious or not. I mean, it definitely is a crab cake. Oh, thanks, David. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, lump crab meat. No shit. Well, apparently you're not at the top level of evolution damage. Sorry about that. Yep. Probably the level of idiot that his mom can do the Mrs. Gump trick to get him into school, I would bet. Nice crust, nice soft interior crab meat. I can cook. If anything, probably could have been in the fryer another minute. Would have been a crispier shell, and the meat inside would be a little bit warmer. It's possible baking these may be the way to go. We'll experiment more tomorrow. Yeah, French fries and ketchup would go nicely with this. A thick potato sando. Thank you, Kimberly. And that hot sauce actually does pair really nicely with this. But once again, we'll call this a Midwestern seafood recipe because you can make it in the Midwest. Keep coming back, Bacon. We'll get you there. Penny, quiet. Oh, well, yeah, I guess you're pretty loyal, Bacon. I apologize. You were kind of spamming, though. These things happen. Well, what type of plate are we looking at, Kilkina? I also enjoy plate licking. But crab, shrimp, potatoes. Yeah, you did pretty good today, Turbo. I had a crab cake. I had a turkey wrap and ham cheddar wrap, whatever it was, and some strawberries. But, yep. But it's been fun. It's been real. We're going to call it a night, though. I got to get settled in for tomorrow. But thank you all for joining, and I really hope to see you all again. Turbo, keep on doing turbo things. We like Camaros. Especially before the hippies try to ruin them. See ya, everybody. See ya, Bacon. Ciao, ciao. Renata, it was good to have you with us. Kilkina, good to see you again. It's been a minute. Expos. Oh man, yeah, we had a blast. Expos, you know. See you later, guys.